Hi, everyone. We're going to do the practice problems for number 8. This is for Algebra 2 and also accelerated. So we're working with parallel and perpendicular lines. Remember that parallel means that they're running like train tracks. They have the same slope. And perpendicular means they meet at 90-degree angles and they have opposite slopes, right? Opposite, so one is going down, one's going up. So one has a positive slope, one has a negative slope. And then they also are opposites of each other. So if we had like 2/3, it would turn into -3/2. Right? So the parallel ones have the same slope, perpendicular ones have opposites. So our task here is to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line described. So slope-intercept form, remember, is y equals mx plus b, right? So write the slope-intercept form of the equation for the line described. So our goal is to write an equation. So in order to write the equation, they give us a point, and they also tell us that it's parallel to another line, right? So parallel, remember, means same slope, right? So if it's going to be the same slope as this one that's here, I see that the slope of this one, the number in front of x, so in this case, 1, right? So the slope that I have that they're telling me is 1. Right? And in order to find the slope-intercept form, we need 3 of those 4 letters. We have y, m, x, and b, right? We have m. And then from this point, we also have x and y because it's always x, comma, y. So in this case, I would say, okay, it's x is 2 and y is 2. And we are trying to find out what b is. So b equals some number, right? So I'm going to go ahead and substitute these into my equation, y equals mx plus b. So in this case, y is turning into 2, right? I'm getting that from here. M, I'm substituting in, is 1. X, I'm substituting in, is 2. I don't want to just write 12, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in parentheses like that. And then plus b, we don't know what b is, so we're going to write plus b there. So I have 2 equals 1 times 2 plus b. 1 times 2, I know is 2, equals 2 plus b. And then I want to get b by itself, right? So b by itself, I want to take away that positive 2, move it to the other side. -2, like this. 2 minus 2 would be 0, equals 2 minus 2 is gone, and I have b like that. So I know now that my b is 0. So when I'm going to write my equation for my answer, I need to fill in what m is and what b is. Because x and y, those are my points along the line. And m and b tell me what kind of line it is. So I would have y equals m is 1. So I have 1x. And then b, remember we decided was 0. So I'm going to have plus 0 like that. So I can write this as my answer. Also, if you remember, we don't really need to write the 1. So I'd have y equals just x. And plus 0, that just means that we're going through the origin. So really, we could simplify our answer to be this. But either of these answers is correct. Either one is correct. Okay. So this is what we do if we have parallel, right? Parallel meaning same slope, keep the slope the same. If you're looking at a number like number 5, then we have perpendicular, right? This perp right here, they're simplifying the word perpendicular, abbreviating it. So we have x and y still, and we have a slope, but they're telling us that it's perpendicular to this slope. So what I need to do in order to find my slope, to find my m, is I need to flip it and take it from negative to positive or from positive to negative. In this case, we have positive, so our new slope is going to be negative, and I have 1/8, so I'm going to go ahead and flip it over to be 8/1. 8/1, which I can just simplify to say, okay, that's -8. So my new slope is going to be -8. My x is +1 from the point. My y is -5 from the point. right? I still need to know what b is. So that is my question mark. That's what I'm trying to find out. So I have y equals mx plus b. Y is -5. M I'm getting from here is -8. X is 1. And I still don't know what b is. So -8 times 1 would be -8. Bringing down the other portion. Since it's a -8 I'm trying to get rid of, I want to get b by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and add 8 on both sides. I get b equals -5 plus 8 is the same as 8 minus 5. So it'll be 3. So now I have b along with my new m. So I'm going to write my equation. Y equals, my new m is -8x plus 3, my b. So it's coming from here. So my answer is this equation here. Nothing to simplify, so I'm good to go. That would be my answer for perpendicular. Right. This is number 8. So when you are done with your problems, you're going to see how many you need to do right here. And when you're done with your problems, you're going to go to this link right here and take your retake. That's number 8. All right. Number 9 for Algebra 2 and Accelerated. This is number 9. We are graphing systems, right? So graphing means it's going to be on the graph, and systems of equations means 2 or more lines, 2 or more lines. So when I look at this first one, it says solve each system by graphing. Okay, so when I solve, I want my solution to come out, and my solution is going to be a point, right? It's going to be the place where the 2 intersect. So I'm going to start by graphing this one, start at +3. And then my graph, my slope is going -5/3. So down 5 to the right 3. So down 5 from that point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 3, 1, 2, 3. Put my point right there. Right? There's nothing else I can do there. I can keep going down 5 and over 3, but I'd end up over here, up and back, I'd end up over there. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a straight line straight through that point. So I have my first line. I'm going to go ahead and graph my second line. I'm going to start at -3. And this slope is +1/3. So up 1 to the right 3. So up 1 to the right 1, 2, 3. There's a point right there. Down and backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and have this line here. And I can see that they come together at this point right here. That is my solution, right? So my solution, I need to give it a name with its coordinate point. So on the x-axis, I went over 1, 2, 3. And on the y, I went down 2, -2. So this is my solution. You need to have the graph to show your solution and the point to tell what the solution is. So you're going to graph both. You're going to find where they cross. That's your solution. Okay. If you're looking at some of the later problems, you'll see that they have, maybe, there we go. You'll see that there are some problems that are in standard form. So you're going to solve for y first. So here I would have x minus 3, or x minus y equals 3. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract x. Negative y equals -x plus 3. Be very careful. You do have -y, so this should be -y here. I'm going to divide by -1 to make that -y go, make the negative go away. So I have y equals +x, because the negative and the negative will cancel. And then +3 divided by -1 will be -3. So I'm going to start at -3. Remember, this is the slope of 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, all the way out, down and back. So I have this line here. And then the same thing, I'm going to go ahead and do for this problem here. 7x minus y equals -3. subtracting 7x on both sides. I have negative y equals negative 7x minus 3. Dividing out that negative from everything gives me positive y equals 7x plus 3. I'm going to start at positive 3. I'm going up 7 and over 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1. That's not really going to work out, so I'm going to go down. This is 7 over 1. I think I said 7 over 3. Sorry about that. So I'm going up 7 over 3. That's not really working. So I'm going to go ahead and go down 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and backwards 1. Right, so I can see that straight line is continuing all the way through there. Wow, that's not straight. Like that. And that tells me that I have a solution point at negative 1, negative 4, because I went over 1 and down 4 to get to that point. So this is my solution for those of you working on the standard. Thanks, guys. This is number 8. So when you are done with your problems, right? You're done with your problems, you're going to go ahead and go to the bottom, click here, and take your retake. That's why we do that. Cool. Number 10. This is for Algebra 2 Accelerated. This is not your number 10. So Algebra 2 only, this is number 10. We're doing systems of inequalities. I know, challenging. We're going to make this happen. So systems, there are 2 of them, right? There are 2 lines that we have to graph, or inequalities in this case. And then inequalities, remember, you're doing solid or dashed, and shade up or shade down. So we'll do a couple together here. So for this one here, I'm going to start by graphing the line. So I'll graph this one first. I'm starting at negative 2. And this is negative x. So negative x really is like 1 over 1x. So down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. You want your graph to be going down from left to right. And then I'm going to work my way backwards. All right, since this is a less than or equal to, since it's a less than or equal to, this is like a closed circle. So that means a closed line, not dashed. So solid line all the way through. And since this says y is less than, right? Y is less than, I'm going to go ahead and find a point, right? Less than means down, right? Less than is like smaller, smaller means down, right? So I'm going to take a point and straight down, point down, point down, point down, 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 down. I can see, okay, that's the side I'm supposed to shade. Cool. So this is the blue side right there. Okay. Now for my other one, my other graph, I'm going to start at positive 2. Right, starting at positive 2. It's negative 5x, so it's down 5 over 1, or right 1, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 1, down 5 over 1 would be down here. Since it is greater than or equal to, again, that's like a closed circle, which is a closed line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line like this. All right. And now, since it says greater than, greater means up, right? Greater means shade up. So with my shading, I'm going to go to a point and shade straight up. Go to the other point, shade straight up. See how those are those are both on that side of the line? So that is the side that I'm going to shade in all the way up here. So now I'm looking here for the area of the graph where both the blue and the red are crossing over. So in this section here, right? In this section here, there is no shading. So that is not my answer. In this section over here, there is only red shading. So that is not my answer. In this section right here, there is only blue. So that is not the correct answer. But I can see right here, there is both blue and red, making that purple color, right? Blue and red. That is my answer. So I'm going to go ahead and draw an arrow, and I'm going to say this is my solution set. That's where all of my solutions are. Not the red, not the blue, but the purple where they overlap. Okay. That's my solution set. Let's go ahead and do one of these ones down here. I'll do number 8 with you guys. No, actually, let's do number 7. All right, for number 7, we have this one here. I first need to solve it. So 4x plus y is less than 2. Need to get y by itself, so it's easier to graph. And then go ahead and subtract 4x on both sides. I get y is less than negative 4x plus 2. Okay, so I'm going to start at my number 2. This is negative 4 over 1, so going down 4 to the right 1, down 4, right 1, up and backwards like that. Since this is a less than, there's no equal sign on it, so this is like an open circle. That means we have to represent our line with like an open circle line, which is a dash. I'm going to go ahead and dash my way through this line like that, still putting arrows at the end. And since this one says less than, right? Since it says less than, I want to shade down. So I'm going to go to one of my points or any part of the line. So here's a point, I'm going to shade straight down. Here's a point, shading straight down. Here's a point, shading straight down. So I can see it's that side of the graph that needs to be shaded. So this part over here, right? That part is going to be shaded in. Can kind of decorate it if I wish. So that's my purple line, okay? And then I'll do an orange line here. So y is greater than negative 2. So this is a horizontal line because it's y equals, right? So I'm going to go on the y-axis to where it equals negative 2 right here. I see that it's greater than, not equal to. This is an open circle or a dashed line. So I have a dashed line going straight out, horizontal line. And it says that y is greater than. So remember that greater than means shading up. Greater than means shading up. So when I am shading, I'm going to go to the point and shade straight up. Go to anywhere on the line, shade up. Go anywhere on the line, shade up. Go anywhere on the line, shade up. So I can see, okay, I need to shade that part up there. So I'm going to go ahead and shade on my graph. Anywhere that is above, like that. All right. So in this section of the graph, there's no shading. So that is not my answer. In this section of the graph, there is only orange. So that is not my answer. In this section of the graph, there is only purple. So that is not my answer. Right here, what do orange and purple make? I don't know, darker orange or darker purple. So right here, I can see that there was purple lines and there were orange lines. So that section of the graph right there is my solution, right? So this here is my solution set. Any point in here is going to be a solution to this equation. And that is how I graph inequalities. Thanks, guys. That's number 10. So you're going to do your problems, however many you have to do, right? And then down at the bottom, there is a link. You're going to go to this link and take your retake. Okay, that's where you'll take a picture and then submit it. Cool. All right, ACC number 10. This is accelerated number 10, not algebra 2. So if you're algebra 2, go find the other number 10. Accelerated number 10. This is us. We're solving systems algebraically. So in this case, we're using algebra to solve them. So for a problem like this, they're already in standard form, so I can see that elimination is going to be the best way for me to solve this, right? That's where I'm going to make them so that one of the variables cancels out, eliminate. So I'm going to compare the letters. In this case, I have 8 and 16. I know that quickly I can multiply that 8 times 2, and that would give me 16, so that seems good. 6 and 7, I would have to multiply both of those, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do the top one. I'm going to multiply the top one by 2, right? It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to multiply by 2. So I'm going to keep it positive 2 because this one's already negative, so it will cancel. So 2 times 8, 16x. 2 times negative 6, negative 12y. 2 times negative 20, equals negative 40. Make sure you multiply all of the things in that equation. Otherwise, it won't be equal anymore. Then I'm just going to pull this one straight over. Negative 16x plus 7y equals 30, like that. That's going to make sure 16x minus 16x would be nothing, 0. Negative 12 plus 7 would be negative 5y equals negative 40 plus 30 would be negative 10. And I go ahead and divide by negative 5 on both sides. I get y equals positive 2. So I know y equals 2. And then I'll plug that back into one of these equations to help me get x. I'm just going to do the top one. 8x minus 6 times y, but now we know y is equal to 2 is equal to negative 20. So we put that in there. So I have 8x minus 12 equals negative 20. Adding that 12 to the other side, I get 8x equals, add 12, negative 8, divide by 8 on both sides. We get x equals negative 1. Right? So these are the two parts of my point, which is a solution. So negative 1, comma 2 would be my solution there. Should be able to find it over here, negative 1, comma 2, negative 1, comma 2 right here. Right, so you can cross that one out. Okay. A lot of these are set up for you to be able to like go for it. If it's in this case, you want to set it into like move the x and y to the other side so that they're aligned, rearrange it so it's in that like x plus y equals a number mode. Just put it back in standard form. Well, let's go ahead and do this one really fast, 18, since it has, I'm sure, that scary fraction. The way that I deal with fractions always is I always try to get rid of them. So in this case, the biggest number on the bottom is 18. And I know 9 also goes into 18. So I'm going to multiply everything in this problem times 18 just to get started. So 18 times 1, 18 times this, 18 times that. So that's going to give me 18 plus, in this case, I have 18 times 5. 5 times 18 over 9y. I'm going to leave it like that. I'll show you why in a second. And then this one, negative 7 times 18 over 18x. The reason I left it in that format is because 18 divided by 18 will cancel and just leave me with negative 7x. And 18 over 9 is 2. So it's really just like a 2 like that. So then I really have just 5 times 2, which is 10y. You could have done 5 times 18, which would be 90, and then divide by 9, still give you 10. I just didn't want to do 5 times 18 in my head. So 18 plus 10y equals negative 7x. Okay, so we have this equation. This is our second equation. I see that they're both the first equation, the top one, which we haven't talked about yet, and the bottom one are in weird orders. So before I even get started, I'm going to go ahead and rearrange them. So I'm going to move that 24. I'm going to add it to the other side. I'm going to subtract 12y to this side. So negative 8x minus 12y equals positive 24. If you wanted to rearrange the other direction, you could, and everything could be positive, flipped positive, negative. So that's my red equation. The black equation is going to go right here. I'm going to go ahead and move the 7x to the other side, the 18 to the other side. So I'd have positive 7x plus 10y equals negative 18. Okay, we've gotten rid of our fractions and we've rearranged it. And now's the time when I'm like, okay, I need to get the y's or x's to cancel out. I could do, looking at x's and y's, I could multiply like 7 times 8, 8 times 7. I could do that. Looking at 10 and 12, I know that their least common multiple is 60. So 5 times 12 and 6 times 10. That seems complicated. So I'm going to go ahead and do the first one. I'm going to multiply the red equation times 7. and the black equation times 8. So for the red equation, I have negative 56x minus 84y equals, wow, I don't know, 24 times 7. My 7s don't go up that high, 168. All right, I guess I could have done 84 times 2, but neither here nor there. All right, and then we have positive 56x. 8 times 10 is plus 80y, and then 8 times 18, or negative 18 times 8 is negative 144. Sweet, it's actually gonna come out more simple than we thought. So x's will cancel. We're gonna have negative 4y's is equal to 4 to 24. So divide by negative 4, get y equals negative 6. Cool beans. All right, so then I have this one. Personally, for me, I think it's easier to just plug it in back into one of the original equations. We could use any of the equations that we have. I think easier to plug into the original just in case we made a mistake. So negative 24 minus 8x equals 12 times y, which we now know is negative 6. So I have negative 72 equals negative 24 minus 8x. Go ahead and add 24 on both sides. Gives me negative 8x equals negative 72 plus 24, which is negative 48. Divide by negative 8 on both sides. X equals 6. Wow, complicated. I'm glad we did this one together. So my answer would be 6 comma negative 6. Let us hope and pray that we find an answer right there. We got it. That is your answer for this one. So we've done 2 problems. You need to do all 8 of them, right? So we've already done 2. You're going to finish the other 6. And then when you're ready, you're going to go to this link right here, and you're going to take your retake. Okay, that's it. You got it for number 10. Keep it up, y'all. You got this.